So what's new? We have a new tool to help you import data faster than ever, with the option to import journal entries, including tax-inclusive journal entries. Our banking functionality is improving rapidly. We have a new auto rule suggestion and new features on the banking screen. QuickBooks reports are getting an upgrade as well to make the data easier than ever to gain value from. And from a tax workflow, you can now export out year-end data for direct import to MYOB. On top of that, our partnership with Lodja is stronger than ever with upgraded special purpose financial reports. We have a lot to cover today, so here's what's new in QuickBooks Online. We have had the ability to import customers, suppliers, invoices, and bills for some time now. And now we've released the option to import journal entries to save you even more time. Often the quickest way for accountants and advanced users to update QuickBooks Online is by creating journal entries. The problem was that previously, these journals had to be created manually. This can be particularly tedious and time-consuming when the journal has multiple lines, for example, when setting up a new client with opening balances or making adjusting entries to the accounts at the end of the financial year. This leads to wasted time and no end of frustration for advisors. Our solution is the new Journal Entry Import tool. It follows a similar experience as our other import tools and allows us to easily import hundreds of lines of journal entries from an existing spreadsheet. Let's go to Steve to see this in action.
Thanks, Kaylee. The new journal import feature is especially time-saving when users export a trial balance from their old accounting system, then want to import it into QuickBooks, as it allows users to easily import hundreds of lines of journal entries from an existing spreadsheet. We're seeing over 20% of users who navigate to this page complete the journal entry import process. To import journals, simply go to the cogwheel top right where your company settings are. And you can see the import data under the tools section. So click on that. And as you can see, this is where you pull through all of your data from those old and clunky systems. Let's take a look at the journal entry, shall we? I should point out that this journal import isn't just useful when you're starting out. If you have a big adjusting journal, this new tool can really be quite useful. If it's your first time importing data, we also have useful guides here that will assist you with what you're importing. So with each of these imports, you can actually preview what fields can be imported from your legacy system. Next, what I like to do is download a sample file. And I usually use this as a template for copying my data over into the fields in QBO. Here's an end-of-month adjusting journal that I want to import. And you can see that I've used the template so that all of the column headers align. I'll usually just copy-paste the data over like so. If I'm happy with this journal import, I'll just go ahead and save this now. I'll save it as my end-of-year journal. All right, so now let's go ahead and import. We'll select the file. And hit Next. And this screen is essentially mapping the column headers from the spreadsheet and mapping them with the related fields in QuickBooks. We simply just have to select the date format. And this all looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Next. And we're done. It's that straightforward. It's telling us that the journal import was successful and that our records have now been imported. So I can go ahead and click on this and open up that journal to have a look. So this is a massive time save. As I mentioned before, I'm so excited to see this feature now in QuickBooks, and I'll hand it back to Kaylee now for a quick recap. Thanks, Kaylee.
Thanks for that, Steve. Setting up a client on QBO or getting their books up to scratch is now easier than ever with the new Quick Import. The new tool allows a quick and seamless way to import hundreds of lines of data at once. This is especially time-saving when exporting a trial balance from an old accounting system and then importing it into QBO. It's quick and easy, and most importantly, there's less chance for manual error. Now to our next update, GST inclusive journal entries. This has been a long-standing pain point for advisors who have had to add additional journal lines just for GST. This is time-consuming and painful for customers and advisors alike. As a result, the product team have now added an additional column for GST. I'll hand it back to Steve for a quick look.
Thanks, Kaylee. As you would have seen from the start of our webinar, this is something that we've heard loud and clear from our advisors. So I'm so excited to say that we now finally have GST inclusive journal entries. These will be rolling out in August. So jumping back into QuickBooks, this is the journal that I imported earlier. And as you can see in the journal entry screen, we now have a column for GST. So rather than having to do an additional line for the GST amount, QuickBooks can handle it for you. Simply select the relevant GST codes to update the journal. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill out the GST code for each of these entries. And you'll notice down the bottom here that QuickBooks is now updating the totals for each GST code selected. My journal balances, so I'm good to go. The system's now alerting me that my journal changes may result in a BAS amendment, so I'm just going to go ahead and say yes to continue. There you have it, it's that simple. As I mentioned, I'm so glad to see the GST inclusive entries now in QuickBooks Online. Our product team has been working hard to deliver this after a number of requests from our advisors, so it's really exciting to see this come to life. And I'll hand it back over to Kaylee for our next update.
Thanks, Steve. Great to see that this has been added into the product, as it's going to save lots of time and frustration. When it comes to manual data entry, the less the better for our advisors. So let's give it a try and see how much time you can save. Our next update is auto rule suggestions. QuickBooks Online uses technology to learn from your interactions with it. Now, if you approve a rule suggestion 3 times without making any edits, QBO will learn from this and suggest you create an auto rule. This will save you time and energy, and there's no need to create a rule from scratch. I'll hand it over to Steve to give us a look at this new update.
Thanks, Kaylee. Let's take a look. Now, the next update to report on is the new auto rule suggestions. Open the banking tab, and you can see here that I have a wall of transactions to review. In the For Review section, see how we have these recognized transactions here? These transactions that appear in green are the ones that QuickBooks recognizes based on a series of algorithms. So looking at these Uber transactions here, I know that that's linked to my business account, and I know that I want to record it to travel expenses every time. And it's going to go there every single time. Now, if you are to add a match rule suggestion for the same transactions 3 times without making any edits, you'll be prompted with the option to skip for review. This is to save time with setting rules and in automating the review of transactions. We've built this feature to help save you time. Regular transactions that you're confident don't need to be reviewed will go into the Auto Review tab. A good example of a suitable use for this feature might be ongoing or recurring transactions that you're confident go to the same account every time. So think of things like your QuickBooks subscription, a telephone bill, or even insurance. Those are the kinds of transactions that you can be confident will go to the same account again and again, and that you don't need to review every single time. So I know that my work Uber account is linked to this business account, and that account is only used for business travel. So I'm confident that I can code all of those transactions to this account. So let's go ahead and skip review. Now, of course, some people might not be fans of this, but that's fine. You can simply select the Don't Ask Me Again box and review every time. but I'm happy to go ahead and skip review for this one. And you can see that those transactions have now been moved to the Reviewed tab. And if we now go to the Rules tab, you can see that a rule has been created for Uber. The last thing I wanted to point out for banking, if you're not a fan of the suggested auto rule, there is an option to switch them off. And that's the new Rethink Banking initiative. More on this to come, so please stay tuned. Back over to you, Kaylee.
Thanks, Steve. Bank rules are great functionality to leverage, and now we're making it easier than ever to take advantage of them. Following that, we're going to go into the new mileage report. We recently released mileage tracking on our mobile app. However, communicating this information from small businesses to the advisors was manual. We now have a report built in to use this information to save you effort at tax time. Accountant users can now download their clients' mileage reports by tax year, including total kilometers, business kilometers, and unreviewed kilometers. They can also view business kilometers driven per vehicle and a log of all business trips. Steve will now take you through this new feature.
All right, so a really quick demo of the mileage feature. Let's open the mileage tab. And you'll see on this drop down that we now have the option for the accountant to download the end of year mileage report for the client. And that's it. I'll hand it back to Kaylee.
That's a great tip for accountants to know.
Just to recap, you can now record mileage and return trips on the mobile app.
As mentioned earlier, clients now have the option to record a round trip as well. We encourage advisors to work with their clients to maximize the possible end-of-year tax deductions using this feature.
As far as next steps, we recommend enabling mileage to take advantage of possible tax deductions. Try the new report today.
Our next update is reporting enhancements. Accountants asked, and we listened. We've recently added several enhancements to our reporting experience in QuickBooks Online to help you create the client reports you need to prepare financial statements, provide better insights to your clients, and get everything ready for tax time. Let's review these updates that will significantly reduce the time you spend creating reports for your clients and allow you to produce the necessary reports directly from QuickBooks Online. I'll hand it over to Steve to demonstrate.
As mentioned, we've recently added several enhancements to our reporting experience in QuickBooks Online to help you create the client reports you need to prepare financial statements, provide better insights to your clients, and get everything ready for tax time. Let's review these updates, which will hopefully significantly reduce the time that you spend creating reports for your clients and allow you to produce the necessary reports directly from QuickBooks Online. Preparing comparative financial reports for your clients within QuickBooks Online has never been easier. You now have additional options when creating profit and loss comparison reports. Start by running a profit and loss report from the Report Center in QuickBooks Online. Then select the down arrow to compare another period. Choose from Previous Period, Previous Year, Year to Date, and the new option, Previous Year to Date. More options mean you no longer need to export multiple reports and piece them together in Excel. You can now reorder columns in your summary reports too. Select Customize Report and click on the arrow to view the row and column selection. Select the grid and drag the columns into your desired order. Just click Run Report and you're good to go. If you have a lot of accounts on your report, expanded or collapsed sections in reports are now retained when you save customized reports. Just select the arrow next to the section you want to collapse before you save customization. The print format has also been improved. Enable Smart Breaks to make sure relevant sections are grouped and presented at just the right level of depth for your clients, eliminating the need to export and format in Excel. You also have the option to repeat the page header on every page of the printed or saved PDF of the report. Another improvement we've made: load twice as much data on the report page, eliminating the need for you to keep clicking to view more data when working with large reports. Enhanced navigation lets you pick up right where you left off, so you don't have to scroll through large reports over and over. We hope these improvements will significantly reduce the time that you spend creating reports for your clients and allow you to produce the necessary reports directly from QuickBooks Online. And I'll hand it back to Kaylee to recap this awesome feature.
There were a lot of updates there, so let's go back through a little recap of what we've just seen. There's improved data access with improved navigation in the general ledger, improved P&L comparative reports. You have the ability to reorder columns. You have the option to save collapsed and expanded rows. And finally, smart page breaks.
The Prep for Taxes feature has widely been praised by our advisor audience, making the balance sheet and profit and loss easy to review from one screen. It's super simple to export data straight into Logit, and now we've made it easier than ever to import into MYOB, as well as the option to export data into a .mye file format. Steve, can you show us how easy this is?
Thanks, Kaylee. So we're nearly at the end of our webinar. So this is actually a little tool that has been released for a few months now that has slipped under the radar, but is a pretty useful function for accountants that are using MYOB practice management. And this particular update is available in the Prep for Taxes window. You can access Prep for Taxes via the Accountant toolbox. So click on the briefcase item and go Prep for Taxes. In case you didn't know, as the name might suggest, Prep for Taxes is a tool that lets advisors review their balance sheet and income statement items in preparation for their client's end-of-year return. When reviewing a client's accounts, you can tick and mark them as reviewed, and it will be time-stamped there with the user ID. There's also an ability to add notes and attachments at an account level. You can also switch between cash and accrual view. And you can see any changes made since your last review here. So enough about Prep for Taxes, now to the recent update. You've always had the ability to export directly to Logit, but now you can also export using the drop-down here. This is for other practice management solutions. This export utility allows a .mye file to be downloaded for any specified tax year. The file format is specifically designed for direct import into MYOB. We've been told from our advisors that this has saved 20 minutes per client using this feature. So this is going to be super handy for advisors who use MYOB AE or MYOB AO for tax to be able to quickly and easily transfer their clients' QuickBooks data to their practice system to finalize returns. So that's the update. The exciting thing is that we will be adding additional exports here very soon, so stay tuned. Back to you, Kaylee.
We hardly needed a demo, that was so quick. Thanks, Steve. As for next steps, we encourage you to try out these new features and think about how you can utilize the tools demonstrated to create value for your clients. Feel free to reach out to your service delivery manager for more information and about how you can drive positive conversations with clients in this current environment. As you saw earlier, editing financial statements in QuickBooks Online Prep for Taxes is easy. You can efficiently push your data into QuickBooks Tax, powered by our partnership with Logit, with the click of a button, which will pre-fill your tax return and create an SPFR ready for e-signature by your client. There's recently been a number of big enhancements with Logit, including templates and special purpose financial reports. All right, Steve, can you show us this latest enhancement?
Thanks, Kaylee. So now we're going to show how in Logit you can add a new set of templated special purpose financial reports that you can personalize and use across multiple clients for year-end purposes. I've got my data that I've imported from QuickBooks, and you'll notice that you no longer have special purpose financial reports under the report section. Special purpose financial reports have their own tab now. These are two sets of financial reports that have already been created for the client Pty Ltd. And I could add a new set just simply by selecting from the predefined templates or from the custom templates. And it's possible that I might want to come and start with one of the predefined templates. So say trading entity down here. Just have a look and see what happens when I create and modify a custom template. I've opened up and am now working at a template level. And I'll make one small change so you can see how this will work. So I'm in my notes. I could move these around. And then I could come here and edit. So I'll make a simple edit right on the bottom here. And that's all I'm going to put in there. That's all the changes that I want to make on this template. So let's have a look up here now at the top level. You can see this is now changed to Company SPFR Trading 3 in my templates. And you can see it saves dynamically and automatically. And if I click the gear wheel, I get the settings and I can change this to Company SPFR. And let's call this one Edit 1. So now within my templates, I've got Edit 1, which is a custom edited set of special purpose financial report templates. I could, if I wanted to, duplicate or remove those financial statement templates. And now let's have a look and see how we can use those. So let's go back to the client. And when I'm back here at the client, go to SPFR. And now I'll add, and you can see I've got Edit 1. So I'll add Edit 1. You can change that naming convention as you like. Let's go 2017 and create. You can see here this has been moved right up the top with the notes there. If I scroll down in my notes, there is the extra note. So that just shows you how I've created that edited template. And I've used that edited template for preparing the accounts. In this case, for the client Pty Ltd. Something else to notice, now if I head over to the special purpose financial reports of the whole firm, have a look here in the templates. There's my edited set of special purpose financial reports for the company. So that will just sit there and be available for all your clients now. So that's just one of the many new updates in Lodgit. For more information, please refer to the Lodgit Help Library.